Hi everyone, welcome to my home. Come in. So, as you guys wanted, I am going to reveal my 30-meter square home atelier at the center of Paris. And this is, as you can see, a very whimsical space. One of my neighbors has been living here for a long time, and he actually decorated the space on his own through the years, as I was told, and it's so cute. The first time I just saw the hall, I was like, okay, this is my place. And this one is my charming small studio. Voila! So this is my very first French apartment that I have rented on my own, because before I was staying at the student residence, and then later I lived with my ex, and then from last year I moved into my apartment studio that was in my Pinterest board. I'm so happy, and I'll show you the reason why it was on my Pinterest board.
Hi everyone, my name is Giselle. I'm a fashion designer and interdisciplinary artist based in Paris. I was born and raised in Mongolia, and I moved here to study my master's in fashion design. So originally my budget was around 1,000 to 2,200 euros, minimum 25 meters square, good storage spaces, and I wanted to live alone, ideally in the central area, because I really missed the liveliness of the city. So for a month and a half straight, dossier updates, applications, viewings, mental breakdowns, and having my first white hair because of stress and everything, I found a place that fitted my needs perfectly in Le Marais. What I was looking for was quite specific. High ceilings, big windows, south-facing lights, not on the ground floor, and ideally a mezzanine, a cave, and a bath. These kind of spaces are very rare where I'm from, so having something fills that very Parisian was very important to me. But I also needed more than just a home. As a designer, I needed a space where I could actually work with fabrics, sketches, pieces, everything. I wanted something that could function as both a home and an atelier. The apartment came furnished with a strong identity already, but I slowly made it mine. So for this place, I'm paying around 1,400 euros, excluding electricity and heating. It was definitely over my budget, but I knew I wouldn't find a place like this again. And of course, it's not perfect. The floor terracotta felt a bit cold at first, and the kitchen could have been a bit more modern maybe, but everything works, and honestly in Paris that already means a lot. At first, it didn't look like it had enough storage for all my things, but honestly, somehow everything found its places, and I started collecting fashion and art books, which is something I have always wanted. Growing up in Mongolia, access to this was a bit limited, and later living in small spaces, I didn't really have room. So this feels like a real small personal milestone for me. And this is my closet. Actually, it fits more than you'd expect. I reorganized it recently, and now it holds everything for all seasons. I've noticed I'm styling myself a less lately. As I focus more on building Glow 7, I have less time and energy for too many decisions. So I'm naturally moving towards more simple, versatile, and quality pieces. And I think that reflects where I am right now, focusing more on creating and less on overcomplicating things. Most of my days start here, with the morning lights, a cup of coffee, and directly getting into work. Sometimes it's sketching, sometimes it's editing, sometimes it's working with fabrics, sometimes it's just thinking and researching. Right after moving in, I naturally started diving deeper into more artisanal and avant-garde couture references. I felt very in my element here in this home atelier. Very in my flow state. Probably the happiest I've felt in a while just creating my first artisanal collection. The bed in the mezzanine was such a game changer. As a fashion designer who works from home, it is very important for me to have the sleeping and relaxing space separate from the workspace. And this arrangement does exactly that. No matter how bombed my atelier is downstairs, I will still have a clean bed where I can truly relax and detach. I do have some boxes and styling archival pieces by the wall of the mezzanine, and I am planning to pin some curtain to separate the space from the bed section so that it looks neat and cleaner. So pretty much this is the view I see in the morning when I wake up and when I'm going to the bathroom. This is the bathroom. We're right under the mezzanine here. There is a small bath, washing machine, the toilet, and the vanity space. I recently reorganized everything into some glass containers, and quite frankly, it was life-changing. It makes everything easier to see and use. Currently, I am working a lot from home, mostly on my computer, focusing on my fashion brand Lucette's production in Mongolia and the launch plan in Paris. It is a convertible space, convertible home, so every detail has to be positioned well. I try to keep things organized in a way that makes it easy to switch between living and working. So everything has its place, easy to find and easy to use. Efficiency. A home that feels lived in but also works as a real atelier. This street in the 4th arrondisement and this 30-meter square space is slowly becoming the place where my ideas turn into something real. And my fashion brand is growing here with a lot of intention and sincerity. I spend a lot of time here alone, especially when I'm working. I like keeping a certain calm, almost quiet, and focused energy in the space. And of course, sometimes it can feel a bit lonely, but living in a busy quartier helps a lot. Sometimes I go out for a walk or run by the Seine, and the city is always moving and always inspiring. And then I come back here to my home, and everything becomes more quiet and more focused. The space holds my daily life, but also everything I'm building. Okay, here we are at the Saint Michel one. So this was the atypical studio that I was talking about. This is for the storage. These are also for storage. And the windows are... Okay, this is my first apartment at the 4th with these two windows. And it's 32 meters square, unfurnished. So the view is going to be like... So the second apartment is here, but it's north facing, like the mirror. And then here you're supposed to put the bed.
I think it's still okay.
Okay.
So it's the bed. We have some storage here and there. Very big mirror, and here's the it's quite atypical, which I like. Okay. Hi. Guess where I am? I'm in my first ever adult apartment in Paris. I mean, even in Mongolia, I was living with my parents. So I am quite excited for this journey. You have no idea, because basically this place is so close to what I had on my vision board 2025. I just needed like a small studio that had a mezzanine so that I could have a bit of space to create and put like long tables or do a small photo shoot in one corner kind of vibes, but still having like a mattress, you know, and being able to invite some friends over for dinner or something like that kind of vibes I wanted. And the location had to be very central because I was living right by the Porte before for like a year with my previous partner, which was like very lovely. I love the neighborhood. I think a lot of people think Paris is just only about the old buildings, like the Haussmannian, la la la. But actually, no, like Paris architecture is very diverse when you go a bit outside of the central area. And the neighborhoods is very diverse. Like you get to see life and who are really living in Paris, you know? That's why it was quite eye-opening and also kind of like interesting experience. It was also my first time living with a person and etc. But now this is going to be a chapter about only me and my adventures, my creations, my space, my energy. I'm just so excited. I feel so blessed and lucky. So I will show you the raw, like the first-hand condition of the apartment. First-hand condition of the apartment. Well, the thing I'm a bit I don't know how to feel about is actually the tiles. It's maybe a vibe, like that Parisian kind of vintage vibes that I'm seeking for, because I'm really trying to get inspired by the history of the building, by the aesthetics of the building, by the fact that I'm creating in Paris and etc. So it could be all part of this like vision, you know. So maybe it's nice. I'm searching for more of like furry, fuzzy, shaggy carpets. And we have a beautiful colored sofa here. And we have like technically a placard, like a closet here. It's very small, but it's fine. I'm thinking about optimizing the storage. Maybe I might add some things here. And maybe like fully making this part my own closet and then putting the shoes, boom, boom, boom. And this is a bit part of the interior design. It's giving vintage. It makes this apartment very charming. Like I don't relate to, I have no communication or whatsoever relation with this. I don't even know what is this. I have no idea, but I fuck with it, you know? I don't know. So we have the bathroom. We have a bath. This is my first time having this sort of washing machine. It's not like perfect, but yeah, it's better than having nothing. So we do have some storages over there. And the light situation here is like this. Maybe it could be better. We'll see. So we could do some storage here, some clothing hangers, and the mezzanine. Actually, there's so much space
here. So I'm thinking about putting the mattress over here and then using that space for more of like a storage kind of situation. This is efficient. Also, like from here, it's just oof. Yes, and think about having like some paintings that I did hang here. We go to the kitchen area. I have different colors of tiles. We have the small refrigerator, micro-ondes, water boiler, and induction. And the best part of the apartment is actually, voila. I mean, come on. So much character. Very unique. I think that's why the first time I saw the pictures in the listing, I was like, whoa, I feel so good about it, about this place. I mean, it was calling me. I just know it has so much potential to grow into something cozy and artistic. And also, it's just so atypical that I think it fits me well. Like, that is kind of who I am. And I also want my apartment to have more character as well. Yeah, so pretty much that's it. I just really want to see how I can make this place more into my character, but also respecting its core aesthetic. Very excited for this journey.
Hello Internet, welcome to the part 2. Here I will be sharing how I created this look. If you're new here, my name is Giselle. I'm a fashion designer and interdisciplinary artist based in Paris, originally from the far away lands of the Mongolian steppes. I am presenting you my first artisanal collection during this Paris Fashion Week times, and it's called Battle to Belong. It explores my and probably everyone's journey of immigration, the search of identity and belonging. So, the second look is called The Flood of Papers. This look was inspired by the piles of documents, letters, ID photos that I collected while living in Europe. For me, immigration, moving to a new country, has two main stages. The first one is literally your physical migration, you carrying your belongings and objects with you and stepping through the borders. That we explored in the look 1. You can check the part 1 of this video. And the second stage is about you getting into the system. It is about the paperwork that proves your whole existence in a new country. And I kind of wanted to translate the infamous French bureaucracy to a poetic garment language. Nothing political here, just an artist and her theme. Please don't throw me out of this country. So if you see it carefully, actually there are papers flying out of the wooden drawers. It is a vintage wooden drawer where you save and archive documents that is very commonly used in France. And I used pleating technique and heat molding to mimic the wood grains to make the drawer look more realistic. And I painted with watercolor to create more of this like trompe-l'oeil effect. And under that, I reimagined an avant-garde sculptural corset dress that is layered like a pile of white documents. It has also like an exaggerated hips to make it look more dramatic. To complete this poetic, bureaucratic look, I created an office worker's leather briefcase. I used leather scraps, leather waste from my previous projects. I kind of wanted to make an actual bag, not just a leather small goods, and create truly one of a kind, interesting, magical briefcase. I'm super happy with the results. So voila, that was me translating this image and vision that I had of me being flooded by paperworks. And if you want to see the grand finale look, please watch the part 3 and repost these videos.